Oh, there we go.
Well,
Okay.
I have a whole lot of other originals too.
You can talk about your Beatles records now.
Okay. This is my original Meet the Beatles album. This is the first album that was released in the United States. Not this one specifically, but
Right.
this is like an original 1964 print. So you can tell because it has that T2047. The re-releases don't have that.
Oh.
And then this is also, it's not printed. It has like a sticker. You can kind of see it there. So it's like this is a kind of a blank sleeve, and they put that sticker on both sides of it.
Sweet.
But it still plays. See, or listen.
Yeah.
I was listening to it while I was cleaning. But I hate to know what it's worth because it's like,
you don't want to be tempted.
I don't want to know what it's, huh?
You don't want to be tempted.
Yeah.
To unload it.
Well, I mean, I have some other cool stuff too. Like, I have a original white album printed on white vinyl that's unopened. But here, let me shut this off.
Hey, is it strange that I had a dream with Jason Bateman in it?
How do I know that name?
He was the guy opposite of Charlize Theron and oh god, what's his name? Will Smith in Hancock. Wasn't that him?
Oh.
He was the he was the undercover agent in the movie the Alien movie with oh dude, what's the name of that movie? It's got what's her name from Saturday Night Live in it. Who's pretty cute. Oh my gosh, it's gonna hurt me now that I don't know. But he's also what TV show is that?
Arrested Development.
Was it Arrested Development?
Yeah, that's on Netflix.
No, there's one on right. There was one on right now. It's the Ozark.
Oh yes.
Right?
Oh.
Isn't he in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Yeah. I had a weird dream with him in it. Nothing down that road that dreams can take you sometimes. But if I remember correctly, I had something like I was at his house, like I'd broke into his house. Oh, I remember it now. I broke into his house, was in his basement, and he had a huge collection of Star Wars toys. Like a whole huge mansion-like basement full of them. Legos, real-life ships. And he had Star Trek too. I remember that now. So he had all these things, and then his kids heard the noise and came down. And I don't even know if he has kids for real, but came down and like caught me, I guess. But then we started hanging out, and then he came down to wonder what the noise was because all of his kids were down there. And then I met him, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm just a big fan of yours, and I'm just some random guy that got into your house and decided to be in your basement of cool Star Wars toys."
Yeah.
I don't know if he.
That's cool.
I don't know if he in real life has one. If he in real life has that, and I dreamt about it before I actually knew about it, ooh, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
That'd be very strange.
Is Richard there?
No.
Oh, I know he's a Black Sabbath fan. This is my original Black Sabbath Paranoid album.
Wow.
That I have. It's pretty beat up.
Yeah.
But I got it at a garage sale when I was a kid for like $2.
I was kind of hoping that my parents, when my mom passed away, that she would have left us some cool records, but all she really had was Cher, lots of Cher, and she had Jane Fonda's workout album, and there was who else? There was Carole King, right? I think that's right. Yeah, there was that, and then there was a Traffic album, which is actually kind of cool because I like Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Traffic and Chicago. I like that kind of music in that era.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live right now. Yeah.
Okay.
We're on YouTube. So take your time. I know Margie and I were doing stuff. These sunglasses are not going to work because they're fogging up.
Okay.
I was going to wear my sunglasses and my mask today on the podcast and just do it. I was going to be like, I was going to try to talk like this the whole time, but I don't think that would work very well.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious.
I thought so. I thought it'd be really funny.
Give me a second. I was cleaning. I'm getting ready for the move to the basement.
Oh.
I'm gonna move into my basement and have a huge RC area.
Huge.
Maybe even a micro track or something. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Huge. So yeah. Well, he's gone. I've been busy today trying to edit the video for On the Rocks 3, a rock crawling event I went to yesterday. And it's been fun because I don't really have any editing software, like actual editing software yet. I will shortly. And then I think I can turn my videos up a notch. Upgrade. Get it on another level. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Look at all the bottles of liquid wrench that Will has back there. And there's 1, 2, 3. Little one. There's 4. He's got a Miller Lite there. I wonder if there's actually a Miller Lite in it though. I see some PB Blaster.
You're using PB Blaster for what?
No, I was commenting on your shelf there with all the chemicals.
Oh. You can see those?
Yeah.
These?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Those are all stuff that I tried.
Oh, okay. All right. Sweet.
Yeah. I gotta get my chair right. There we go.
There you go. You're all set up.
Almost.
We're
yeah, of course, Jackson texted me, Rocket League? Like, dude, doing the podcast, I'm sure you're watching it.
Rocket League? What's he?
Yeah, we've been playing Rocket League.
Oh.
Keeping me up all hours playing Rocket League.
Emerson's doing some stuff downstairs that's keeping him up way too much. Like, he starts school on Wednesday, and he slept today until like 3 o'clock. Mostly because I let him, but I need to stop doing that. I need to actually be a good parent. Tell him to get up. Get up. Get up, son. But he got up Sunday for this event, even though he didn't want to. And he went to sleep that night immediately after he took a shower. So I think his first week of school is going to be a wake-up call. Big time.
Yeah.
A big-time wake-up call is my guess.
I could see that.
But it kind of always is. I remember back then, and your first day or two of school is like, oh, that's right. I used to sleep. I'll tell you what though, I was so bad in school that I used to, when we started having homerooms, like junior high and high school, I would basically stagger in, get out a couple books, create like a pyramid for my head, put my head down, sleep through homeroom, and then pick everything back up, put in my book bag, and then go to my first class and basically do the exact same thing. So I probably didn't wake up until at least 10:30. And then I just count down the minutes to lunch, and then you'd go eat lunch. And then I got a cool story. We can start off this with a story before I intro us in. So, because a lot of this gets cut out anyways with the actual podcast, but it's still an easy one. All right.
Well, we talk about stuff, and so people can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So. We should live stream to Facebook.
I know. I'm gonna figure out how to do that too one day.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So and this is another reason why I'm probably not an engineer, is because of habits like this. But basically, what I would do, my senior year of high school, I was basically had all my credits. I was pretty much almost all the way done. And I took a lot of electives just to fill them in at the end. And I ended up, what I would do is I had 2 study halls, and it was block scheduling. So I had 2 study halls after lunch on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then I actually had a class, which was journalism, so it wasn't really a class, but it was Tuesday and Thursday. So I had made a pass with a piece of paper that said, Alex's pass to get out of study hall. And because
Really?
Miss Caldwell didn't, I noticed after the first week, she never read the passes. There was all these kids coming up with passes. She wouldn't even look at them. She'd just sign off on them and say the next one, next one, next one. So for the first 3 months, I would just make a pass, Alex's pass, to get out of study hall, and she would sign it, and then I would just walk away, and I would either wander the halls, which was always fun because they did have hall monitors.
Yeah.
I would go to the journalism room and just hang out there at my desk because that's what they allowed you to do if you were in journalism. Or there were some times where my mom actually let me borrow the car to go to school, and I would just get in the car and go home, even though you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
It wasn't an open campus. So my senior year for most of the school, and then when Miss Caldwell finally saw it, and she was not a nice teacher. By the way, that adds to the story. But she looked at the pass. She's like, "Alex, this pass to get out of study hall. What is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but you signed it every day for the last 3 months." She was like, "I'm not signing this." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, you kind of already have." And decided to stay in study hall that day. And then I got a legit pass to go to journalism from then on. But it was pretty awesome while it lasted. So
You were like, well, I mean, it's been working, and I'd hate to see it not work. So
yeah, you should
I'm
just
with the
sign and keep going with it.
You're like, all right, so don't kid yourself here. Nobody wants to be here, and this is my way of getting out. And you probably don't even care if I'm here or not. So
Exactly.
Can we sign this, and I can get on with my life? We can both get to doing what we want to do. You can sit there and do nothing, and I can leave.
So in junior high,
I'll level with you here.
In junior high, I got in trouble a lot, right? But in high school, I chilled out a lot more. I went to Omaha North instead of Omaha Central, so all the people that I didn't like in junior high all went to Central and South. So I went to North. I had my buddy Aaron with me, and my buddy Tony went to North, and that was about it. Everybody else was all new people to me. But Miss Caldwell, this same teacher, was the only teacher that I ever actually got in trouble with my entire high school career. So I went to high school for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade because at the time the junior high here in Omaha still had 9th grade. So I called her a B, and she was a psychology teacher, and it's RC related. This is actually an RC story. So what I would do is in class I would get done with whatever work we were assigned, and then I had this notebook that was full of these lists. I always used to make lists, okay? And I had little check boxes next to the list. And on this list, I remember, was double X parts. I was trying to hop up my double X buggy to get it to drive better, for races. And I had this list full of parts, and I'd gotten done with whatever she had assigned us or whatever. And I took out my notebook and I just started looking at the list, and I'm trying to add to it and stuff like that and think of stuff, and I'm just sitting there gazing at it. And she came over and she's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, it's just a list. I'm done with it. I'm done with the assignment. And she's like, "You can't be done with the assignment." I'm totally done with the assignment. This is my list and everything. I can't remember what happened after that, but it ended up where she was walking away and I called her the B word, right? And then she turned around and she said, "I've had enough of you." And she goes over and pushes the intercom and asks for security to come up and get me. Now, I was like, "Are you really asking security for me? All you had to do is tell me to go to the office if you want it, right?" But no, she had to make a point. So security came up and got me. And this is so weird. So I'm down in the office, and I walk in with the security guard behind me, and there is my mom and Chip, my stepdad, that just happened to be there that day because they wanted to talk to my counselor about why I was not getting guidance on which college to go to. That day, they had decided that they were going to go. This is my senior year. They had decided to go up there and do this on their own without telling me. So I'd walked in, and I was like, "What the hell? What's going on? This is a bizarre world." So I'm sitting there, and they're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, I didn't do it. I was like, I didn't do this. Somebody else said that. I'm like, I was just minding my own business, blah, blah. So I started making up this lie. I go into, at the time, Brother Haynes' office. Okay. He's after our current principal went away, he took over principal of Omaha North, and he was actually going to retire this year, and we were going to have a big, all these groups were going to have this big get together with him at some point, and then the COVID thing went up and kind of ruined that. But anyways, so I go in the office and I explain my story. I'm like, I didn't do it. I'm like, we were having an argument, but it wasn't me that said the B word. It was somebody else. I don't know who it was. This is just crazy. I don't want this to happen like this, blah, blah, blah. And dude, this is serious, legit. He brought up my schedule. Okay. And on my schedule was, like journalism, AP English, AP history, math was never a good one for me, so I don't remember what math class I was in. But most of my classes were AP. They were advanced, right? He looked at my schedule, and Brother Haynes, he's like, well, Mr. Spurgeon, because he always called me Spurgeon instead of Sturgeon, too. When we went to our reunion, my 20 year, he still called me Mr. Spurgeon. I was actually kind of gratified that he remembered me, but at the same time, it's still my wrong last name. But he goes, I can see by your schedule that you're an upstanding member of our school, and you know what? I'm just going to let you go on this one. And I was like, no way. Yes. And I walked out of there with my head held high, knowing that I'd lied my way out of another one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was great.
I never got in trouble.
Really?
I was like a ghost.
Yeah, but you have such hard opinions.
Yeah,
and you stand up for them so well. If somebody ever got in your face at the track, like you're one of the best ones to shut people down. I'm surprised that you wouldn't have gotten in trouble.
I guess I was just really good at shutting stuff down. Like I never would get confronted about anything. Like I don't know. I just then it was just like, you're an idiot. See, hopefully I'll never see you again. Oh, guess what? I don't have to see you again in 3 years, so I'll never see you again. All right, bye. I just didn't care.
Well, with that, we better intro the show like a regular podcast. Yeah. This is Alex Sturgeon, Hobbytown HobbyPlex, as with me as always,
Will Brinton.
And we're here to talk about some stuff today that came down. Oh, we got to mention our main sponsor, sponsored by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. And if you mention the show as you're getting yourself one of their services, jeez, excuse me. My sister's got her head down like you just screwed it up. But if you mention this show and as you're getting yourself a home loan or refinance, you can get $500 off your closing cost or 0.125 off your interest rate. It's a pretty awesome deal that we've had going on since January so far. And they've stuck with us even though we've tried to screw it up numerous times. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, boy, do we got some stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, we sure do.
We should just get into it. Here's some hobby news. We haven't had too much hobby news lately because a lot of the races have been canceled and there really hasn't been any, huge new products or anything like that. But then all of a sudden today, there is a press release, and it says that Horizon Hobby has acquired Proline.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So,
what's your opinion on that, man?
Well, I'm looking at it, and Proline's been around since before I got into RC. So, I remember pulling Proline tires off the shelf at even before there were hobby towns in Omaha, really.
Yeah.
And, I've been reading kind of the reaction to that on Facebook in the comments. And some people are like, really worried about it. Some people are really happy about it. There's a lot of questions now as to will it affect your Team Losi team, since this is not just a this is an actual like buyout. If I read this right. So
well, to me it looked like kind of like the deal with Losi getting bought, and by what I think it means, or at least what, in my opinion, what it looks like is they just own it now. And they're still going to operate independently out of the same business.
Yeah.
So what I think that this looks like is, so how many times has Proline released a truck, a conversion kit, an RC car of some kind, and it sells really well, and then it's kind of like they kind of stop making them. So to me, that seems like a test to see if they could test the market, to see if this would be successful. So what I could see this being is a Proline RC car, Proline shocks, Proline tires, Proline body, Spectrum Electronics, Dynamite, like ESC, whatever, and having a higher quality, or like a high quality ready to run, that could be like another brand, like Proline, is a RC car company, and because how they've had accessories like complete shock packages for crawlers, things like that. So to me, that's what I could see coming out of this is, another RC car line.
Yeah.
Like a brand of RC
I could
car
see that.
ready to run.
Horizon Hobby owns through. Oh no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Are you there?
Oh, there you are. Yeah, we're back.
Okay. All right. Horizon Hobby owns Arma. That's where you left off.
Yeah. We're checking our computer right now, see if it's getting hot.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know. Sometimes the feed or the Wi-Fi gets kind of weird, but whatever.
Somebody must have plugged in a hairdryer.
Yep. Okay, so they already own Arma. So Arma's got they're basically their 4-wheel drive ready to runs. ECX line has been their 2-wheel drive ready to runs, and so I could see that. I could see them using, say, like what's their 4x4 truck, the Pro 4. Is that what they call it? Pro 4 MT. I think that's the monster truck.
Proline's truck.
I could see that going into a ready to run.
You
give it decent electronics and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what when I saw that, it was like, well, okay, this kind of makes sense. Maybe they just didn't have the cash flow to support an endeavor like this. They could, say, hey, we've done this before. This is what the numbers we showed on ready to run product lines with this this truck.
Yeah.
And the sales were good, and would you be interested in going down this road? And I don't know if this is true or not or anything. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But this is just what I saw could happen. And I mean, I think that would be kind of
like an
neat
RTR
if they did that.
drag car.
An RTR, yeah, RTR drag car, or
Okay.
they could have like if you saw, like, let's say did I lose you again?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Wah,
So
wah.
they could have a truck come with like a licensed body and good tires and stuff out of the box, so you don't have to buy that stuff. At least that's what I could see happening.
Yeah.
Or tools, or any consumables that a hobby shop is going to sell.
Yeah.
That, like, you have to look at the top 100 items that a hobby shop sells and try to fill that category.
Yeah.
Consumables and like glues and tires and bodies and screws, bearings. I don't know. I mean, there's things like that.
Yeah.
Body clips. That's where the high volume, low margin stuff is.
And then you've got Horizon Hobby being the sole distributor for Proline.
Yeah.
Because right now you can get it from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, actually,
yeah, and
like A-Main usually gets Proline stuff before anybody does. So I usually back order brand new stuff at A-Main first.
Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling that like the race team would probably operate independently from everything else. So I don't see them trying to change that, because they're not good. I don't think that would happen. I really don't.
I think the lower end guys though will benefit knowing that they can get Proline tires through their Horizon account now.
Yeah, I could see that.
That was one of the big things when I was early on when I was on TLR, was low C tires. You know,
Yeah,
I used to
right.
I used to love getting, you know, green BK bars, green BK, or no, X patterns when they were out. IFMAR pins when we needed them. Taper pins.
Yeah.
I mean, that was always a real benefit of being on that team. And then poof, they were gone. So maybe now the team will have access to that side of it. And knowing how those contracts look, I bet you the 50 and the 75, the team one, maybe team two guys, they might, I wouldn't say forced to use it, but it might be highly encouraged for them to just use the Proline tire from that on. But I think the higher end guys like Dakota Fenn, they've got individual contracts. It doesn't really work like that.
I don't think that any of that would apply to that. Like, I don't see it. So like I said, you know, they're still, like the way I read the article is they're still going to operate out of, you know, their same, what's the California band?
Beaumont?
Beaumont?
I think they're in Beaumont, wherever that's at.
Yeah, well, they're still going to operate out of their own facilities. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't see like race team management changing, because isn't their race team manager Gord?
Is it? I don't know.
I have no idea. I thought it was, but I could be wrong.
I know.
I know Testmans are heavily involved.
I know Matt, but he's on the. I think he's not necessarily on the team thing. He's more of a behind the scenes guy. I don't know.
So, yeah. Anyway.
So
I mean, it's definitely a big news story. But I mean, what do you see happening? I mean, what do you think it means?
I think it's with the way things are right now, with a lot of stuff being out of stock in a lot of places. I think confining shipments of product to one distributor is probably a good thing. There's also probably a cash flow thing going on. I think Horizon Hobby is actually in a pretty good place, it seems like. And I'm not saying Proline wasn't, but maybe Proline really needed that to up their manufacturing level.
Yeah, and who's not to say they were affected by Tower going out of business?
Right.
And then I don't know if LRP was a distributor of theirs in the UK, but I mean, if they were, when they went out of business, they could have been affected too by that. So and like maybe COVID had something to, you know, maybe those two things, like they were gonna, you know, make it through, and then less racing happening affected it more. I have no idea. This could have been a deal a long time in the works too. Yeah, you never know. Like it's hard to make assumptions over a business that big. Yeah, like, you know, you don't know. I think that a lot of the sky is falling people said the same thing when TLR got bought by Horizon Hobby. Yeah, and none of that really came true. You know, I mean, everybody was still able to get stuff. They still came out with new products. You know, they innovated. You know, the 8 came out under the Horizon Hobby watch. So, you know, there's been new stuff. I just realized my phone was on our wireless here. So thanks a lot. So it was another wireless. It's probably taking up all the bandwidth. It was another wireless connection, and I'm on YouTube looking at the comments. So it was another thing. Maybe that slowed down our connection or something. So I turned it off just now. What do the comments look like? We got a couple. We're going to get to those a little bit later. I don't know if they're commenting on what we were talking about. Oh, they're talking about what we got a little bit too. Jerry Doherty's like, I hope it doesn't disrupt the quality of Proline. And then while I was talking about the TLR tires, he's like, Losi doesn't make tires anymore, do they? Question mark. Oh, no, they don't. Yeah, they don't. I mean, they do, but they're only for their ready to runs, and they don't really, it's not like a awesome compound or anything. They're not Losi red. Yeah, they're not. They're like definitely are not. They're something from China. Yeah, so I don't know. It definitely caught me off guard. It's definitely big news. Probably the biggest news we've had so far, probably this year. Don't you think? As far as stuff goes, it's a big one. That's a big one. It's going to be you know, when I'm thinking about like the giveaways that we do and stuff. You know, I kind of separate out Horizon Hobby from everybody else. Well, now that Proline's underneath Horizon Hobby, will it be harder to get a hold of people to get stuff for our events, or will it be easier? I don't know. No, I have no idea what that looks like. Yeah. And honestly, I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, you don't. It's tough. Sucks sometimes.
because you want to come
Oh,
through.
I'm sure.
You want to come
go
through
up
and make
to-
everybody happy.
You go up to a business, hat in hand. Sir, can we please have some stuff to give
Please,
away?
can we have some more? Just
Yeah.
a T-shirt, sir.
Hey.
Just a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Would you please buy this pencil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like one of those guys at the airport that's like, you like just go there when you have a note that says, I'm deaf and please buy these stickers for 4 handout items, RC car for our race coming up, and you just don't say anything.
Yeah.
That's never happened to me, but
those guys I like to kill in Red Dead. I always like
Yeah.
to find the fake beggar that's blind.
Mm.
You played that, haven't you?
Nope.
Oh, really? Holy crap,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I've never
So
played
Red Dead, you can, when you get to the Saint Denis, you can walk by and there's a couple different beggars there, and one of them is supposedly blind, but he's not. And so if you like pull out your gun and point it at him, all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, wait a second." I would shoot that guy.
Yeah.
The other one, if he doesn't know what's going on, then I let him go because that'd be mean. But the faker, I'll kill the faker. It's not real anyways. So who
Yeah.
cares?
Richard wants to know if you guys want us to do a giveaway for one of those prizes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Margie
prizes?
said for the summer series, we can do one free podcast hour with webrise.com.
Oh,
Somebody could win
okay.
that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be neat. We should like have some stuff we ship out or something. Once we get like Patreon or something,
Yeah.
we should have like Patreon winner can win like a signed wheel or a body or
Yeah.
something.
Yep, exactly.
Just our stuff.
So, the YouTubers I've noticed are already on it. Traxxas just released a new vehicle today. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
It's called the Traxxas. Get ready. You ready? It's called the Traxxas Hoss. HOSS.
That's cool.
It's the Hoss. So
Yeah.
it's
The Boss Hoss?
the Boss Hoss. It's interesting. It's basically what it looks like is a Stampede 4x4 with the Rustler shock towers and that no body clip system, like the new Max has, and the T-Max, or not T-Max, geez, X-Max.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got these big tires that they call Sledgehammer, which is kind of a throwback to the old, right?
Whenever I hear something like named a Sledgehammer, I always think of Napoleon Dynamite. It's a sledgehammer. Take that off of your sweet jumps.
I call this a Sledgehammer. So it's got the new setup for no body clips, and then it's got a different motor in it, and it kind of looks like the motor that's in the Max, the MAXX. They're just the Max, is what it looks like to me.
Max?
So it's got more power than a regular Stampede and even Rustler 4x4, but it's the size of it'll be the size of a Stampede 4x4.
Okay.
I bet.
So is this like a drag car? Or
No, that's a monster truck.
Monster truck?
But it's
okay.
I bet you if you put them right next to one another, you've got the Rustler 4x4, which would be this height, and then you've got the Hoss, which is going to be this height, and then the Max, which is going to be this height, and then the X Max, which is this height.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And
Collect the whole set.
right, yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be like $479 or something similar to that, maybe $459. I guess we'll know when we actually get it. And then I bet you that we get this truck Thursday.
Yeah.
As at least one of them as one of those early release things where they want people to like touch it and stuff.
Yeah.
So if we do Thursday or Friday, there'll definitely be an unboxing very quickly on that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I like to actually have it in my hands and get it up on YouTube as quickly as possible. So
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
yeah. So that dropped today too. So you have the Proline acquisition from Horizon Hobby, and then you've got this new truck from Traxxas. We haven't seen anything new really from anybody. in a while. So it's not, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of Traxxas deal. It's not totally new because they're kind of reusing a chassis they already have and a front and rear end they already have. I think the diffs, I think the driveline in this truck, from what I remember in the pictures, because I studied it today because I knew I was going to talk about it. I think they're either the diffs that are in the Max, so maybe that is different. They're either the diffs that are in the Max or there's some sort of new HD version. And I know that they're using the HD outdrives
and stuff
that are on the Rustler vehicle, the Rustler 4x4. So the Slash 4x4 and the Stampede 4x4 use the standard, the part number 6851, 6852X. And then the Rustler 4x4 uses 6851 and 6852A. And if you put them right next to one another, the A's are thicker. They're just like a thicker material. And I know for sure that those come on there. So
that's cool.
In a way, that's a good thing because a hobby shop, especially a hobby shop like ours with the business that we do and the amount of stuff we have, it really stinks when a company fully turns around something, comes out totally new, no parts are interchangeable with anything.
Yeah.
Because then we have to find shelf space for it. You can't have a car and not have the parts.
Right.
So then you have to find a place to put all these new parts. It usually takes up, at least a panel or two sometimes.
Yeah.
So
how happy would you be if you bought like a whole nother vehicle and it shared some of the parts from your old car?
Right. And that's what the Slash was.
Yeah.
The Slash was it has the same front and rear end as a Rustler and a Stampede for the most part. The arms are different length, but other than that, it was the same transmissions.
Dude, they've had that same basic platform for like 15 years now, haven't they?
Longer than that.
Yeah, longer than that.
Dude, I bought my
it's been this.
I brought my stepbrother a Rustler kit in like 1996 or something crazy like that, and built it for him for his. Well, I didn't buy it. I think my dad bought it, and then I put it together for him. But
yeah,
it was mid 90s. The Rustler's been around since even before that. I was actually going through some old magazines the other day, and I saw ads for the Rustler, and I'm like, wow, this thing's been around forever.
But I mean, they kind of updated him with the gray plastic and stuff, like in like 2005.
Yeah, they did.
But it's been like that same. You could go and take that car from 2005 and slap brand new A-arms on it off the shelf. A brand new one, and it fit.
Yeah, and they updated the internal gears, but they're the same. They're the same gears. They're just made out of metal now.
Yeah. So it's like, could you imagine, like, okay, so let's say your stepbrother or somebody bought one of those then, and they pull it out, like, I just didn't fix it. It needed an A-arm or something. And they go to the hobby shop and they have it for a 15-year-old car.
We see that a lot.
Dude, that's like unheard of.
This COVID thing, we saw that all the time this spring. People were bringing in really old Rustlers, and one of the best way that you can tell, the really old Rustlers used the little slipper pegs, and the slipper and the spur gears were white.
Yeah.
And we still carried those spur gears. You can't do that with an RC10.
Yeah, I know.
You can't do that with an RC10B2. You can't do it with an RC10B3. You can kind of do it with an RC10B4. There's still some parts lingering around for that. You definitely can't do it with any old Losi car.
Right.
Horizon Hobby got rid of that stuff.
So from a basher or like somebody that's just going to play perspective, that's pretty badass.
I know. And it's, like I said, it's good for us too, because we don't have to find all new shelf space for stuff.
The thing is, so the guy that has that, they're having an overall good experience.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to rebuy stuff and buy, we don't have that anymore. And that's for the basher, Racing's entirely different. But I mean, we're not racing stuff that's necessarily going to be something that we're worried about being able to get parts for in 3 years.
Yeah,
that'll never happen.
Yeah.
And why would we care?
We sell our cars before that.
We're going faster. Like we don't look at stuff like that. So it's kind of like the guy that's beating something up and down the street. Something that's going to handle a little better doesn't really add any value, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
so there's that. Those are the two big deals that came down today. why don't we take a moment to listen to our sponsor, and when we come back, we'll talk about this weekend's racing and stuff going forward.
Cool.
All right. Here's David Olson and or Don Zoller talking about Pivot Lending Group. Okay, good enough. I got the thumbs up from my sister.
Yeah.
So, why don't we talk about some race results from this weekend? Man, we just keep knocking out good club races, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's making my heart happy. A couple years ago, it was tough to get people to come out and race, and it was a struggle, and it's not been a struggle. I think, like I said before, I think the pandemic thing's kind of, when we were shut down for a couple months, I think it kind of reminded people, oh yeah.
Well, how many new people did we get from Carpet that just kept racing?
Yeah.
And how many people do we have coming every week now?
I think
it's because our core group is
expanding. I know, like Wade Gearing and his kids, they're pretty much regulars now. The Noonans are there's flock of them. So there's a dad, 2 kids, and a grandpa. They race Carpet. I didn't really see him much on the dirt before that, and they're trying to come every week. There's been some guys that have been gone, like Dustin Hosick and Derek Wood, and then they're back. They've been coming almost every week now.
Yeah.
So, I can think of many more. There's some that haven't come back yet because I think they don't want to be around people yet. They're not comfortable, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
I expected that. But still, like, for club racing, a 40 to 60 entry count is pretty nice because it's not an overwhelming amount of heats, so the day doesn't drag on, and we're able to get in, good races. Plus, all the heats are full, so you don't have to worry too much about corner marshals and all that other stuff that was going on.
And kind of splitting up Plex Spec or Family Friday and then race day, it kind of makes it like where we still have 100 entry weekend.
Yeah, this Friday we were a little low. There was only 25 entries on Friday night total, but
it's still pretty.
Still, there was basically 2 heats of Plex, and then he put all of them together in the main. Some of them went home. That happens with beginners. A lot of them won't stick around for the main; they'll leave early.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
They're only paying $5, and a lot of them they don't plan on staying, so they don't care.
Yeah.
Let me get in here. So 61 entries. We had 35 people, 35 drivers. We had a lower main in expert stock and mod buggy. I think we had 15 cars each in one of those. So
nice.
Yeah, it was great. So in stock buggy, Max Doherty qualified dead last, but him and Jason Erbel ended up winning and getting the bump to the A main of expert. And then mod buggy B main was Mac Vanderbeek. This is how the grid was. Okay? Mac Vanderbeek, Emerson Sturgeon, Owen Vanderbeek, Alex Sturgeon, and Jackson Anderson. So it was a Vanderbeek versus Sturgeon duel to the death. And the dads ended up winning the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Emerson probably had a shot to take me out and take over the final bump spot, but he crashed too much, and I ended up getting around both of them. Emerson was talking crap before this, telling me how he's going to take me out and all this stuff, and I'm like, if you take me out, dude, I'm totally taking you out. I'll wait on the track and take you out. And he didn't get the chance. Owen was close to me for a little while. Basically, in this one, the patience won out over the aggression. So there you go. So Mac and me both made the bump. And then Plex Spec beginner, we had 4 entries. There was a couple guys that were missing in that one. But Hunter, Jackson's brother, ended up winning Plex Spec, and then Eli Vanderbeek got second.
Nice.
And then we had a couple brand new people, Harrison Hankey and Lucian Dingwell, that they progressed throughout the day. They started off, I think Harrison started off with 6 laps by the main. He got 8. Same thing with Lucian.
Yeah.
I think he only got like 2 or 3 laps. Actually, his first race he broke, and then he finished the main, got 5th. So he's doing really good.
That's cool. Like, that's all you can really ask for. It's some of the first times you're racing, you just got to improve every time.
Yeah,
and that's kind of your race,
I kind of mentioned on the mic that Hunter Anderson's probably getting pretty close to bumping up to independent buggy, and he started flipping out about that. He's like, no, I'm not ready. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not saying now, but at some point, I think you're fast enough. You can race. You're starting to get fast enough to race an independent buggy. Mm-hmm. We had 3 stock trucks come out. It was Ashley McCormick, Raven Barton, TJ Williams. Raven had something for Ashley today, or Saturday, and just she had one crash that dropped her back enough to where Ashley just had to make sure he didn't make any big mistakes. But Raven was pretty fast with her truck.
That's good.
She's driving that X-ray truck, so it's got that body that kind of sticks over the front nose. Mm-hmm. A lot kind of looks kind of weird, but works. So whatever.
Yeah.
TJ did good. He finished 3rd, but I mean, another 14-lap run for TJ in his truck. I think truck's probably his strongest class. I think I've said that before on here.
Yeah.
So mod 4-wheel drive, we had Alex Vanderbeek came out. The whole Vanderbeek crew came out for another good club race. Alex kind of, I wouldn't say owned this one, but it was close, and it was far enough apart where he could still probably make a bobble or two, and he wouldn't gotten caught. But I will say that Aiden Olson probably was fast enough to really pressure him if he's just got to limit those mistakes here and there, or he'll have like 3 epic laps and then followed by 1 bad lap, and then he'll have a couple more epic laps and then 1 bad lap again. Not necessarily a crash, but like gather it back up, missed a line or something like that, And then Ethan Delaire got a 3rd, and he was only 3 seconds behind Aiden. Mitchell Pavel got 4th. Derek Wood got 5th. And Brian Cox, race mod, 4-wheel drive, and got 6th. So it was a pretty good day. Full heat. And that's always what you want. I was thinking about putting a mod in my 4-wheel drive and trying that next week. But then I started thinking about the tires and how I'm trying to save my tires for the next Summer Series race. Mm-hmm. So I might not run my 4-wheel drive at all. It has nothing to do with the fact that I got beat either.
Oh, yeah, you got beat. I wasn't there.
Yeah. So the race after that was 13.5 4-wheel drive. Yours truly TQ'd. However, his main was I left a lot to be desired out there. I was really trying to stretch a set of tires. Yeah. And boy, for some I ran.
Boy.
Again, I am not an engineer. So I ran full treaded rears and slick fronts to try and
working.
No, that didn't work. So basically I had no traction in the front. I had some traction in the back. My car was really terribly unbalanced. And I was just trying to make the day. I was trying to make it last the day. So I'm not blaming my loss totally on that because it actually was kind of working okay. But it made the car progressively hard to drive throughout the course of the time going. So Owen Vanderbeek was way faster than I was in the main. He was probably faster than I was in qualifying, but he's a young kid, so a couple of mistakes here and there while I wasn't crashing at all. And when I did crash, I had enough lead where it wouldn't matter. But in the main, dude, he had my number. Totally had my number. And just started to walk away from me. And then I made a mistake, and Dustin Hosek got around for second. And then I was trying to catch Dustin, and then I got kind of dinged up in traffic. So Nick Pavel got around for third. The funny thing is at the start, Nick Pavel drives this bright orange car, right? So you can really see it on the track. So I started up front. I gunned it because I knew that Owen was gunning for me, man. He's like, I'm going to get you today. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. So I gunned it to make sure I didn't let anything happen at the start. And I see this orange car get a jump on everybody and clean everybody out in the first corner. And I thought, here we go. I got this. And then Owen got freed up and just tracked me down and just drove away. And so Nick Pavel got third. TJ Williams, 4th place with his TLR buggy. So he's getting better and better. Ronnie Went got 5th. Jason Herbal got 6th. Rod Case got 7th. Nick Sneathen finished in 8th. And then I dropped out with 12 laps, finished 9th. Raven broke, and Corey Tannehill didn't race. So there would have been 11 cars in the main, but Corey said he was leaving, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, then I'll just put everybody in there, and it won't matter.
Yeah.
So, but dude, yeah, just really didn't want to glue up any fresh tires for this yet. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I had my Crescendo 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. I'm out of tires.
Yeah.
You got to order more.
So expert stock, Dustin Hosick was the big winner here. His car was fast all day. Brian Cox, Wade Gehring, Ashton McCormick, and Jackson Anderson were having an epic gladiator duel in this one. I wish I would have taken video of it, but I wasn't able to. And in the end, Brian Cox finished 2nd. Wade Gehring finished 3rd. So Ashley finished 4th. Jackson was 5th. Easton McCormick was 6th. I believe Easton was also right there for a while. Jerry Doherty, 7th. Jason Herbal, 8th. Max Doherty, 9th. And then, like I said, Corey wasn't there, so he's your 10th place finisher officially. But that mid-pack, and the funny thing is they were all running blue cars. So it was like, oh, well, somebody with a blue car is going to get 2nd.
Yeah.
Mod 2-wheel drive. Again, Vanderbeek was there, so I'm not saying that he couldn't get beat by one of our local guys, but it's a pretty tall order when Alex is on, and he was pretty on in this one.
Yeah.
So he was
Alex is a local.
Yeah, that's true. We consider him a local now.
Yeah.
So Vanderbeek, 17 at 6:13. He was the only one to get 17 laps. Aiden Olson and Derek Wood were having a great battle up front. I could kind of see it out of the corner of my eye a little bit. For a little while there, I got a really good start and was really patient, and I thought maybe I'd be able to track him down to be in that battle for 2nd and 3rd, but it just didn't work out. I made a couple mistakes in that option line. I had the shank Saturday. I was crashing a lot. Ken Peterson was kind of in no man's land, so Ken brought him and his kids up and did really well. He qualified 6th, finished 4th, and he was 5 seconds behind Aiden and Derek, and he was 8 seconds in front of me. I finished 5th, so I went from 10th to 5th. Mac went from 9th to 6th, so we both moved up from the bump. One of the reasons for that, Ethan Delaire got totally hosed. He was
really? What happened?
He was in 5th, and he made a mistake in the option line as well. And I saw him upside down, and I came up and I passed him, and then I saw this kid. And here's the thing: I try really hard to not have young kids marshal any class other than Plex Spec, mainly for this reason alone. But it was the end of the day, so we were really short on marshals. So we were just kind of taking what we can get. However, this young man, I've been watching him all day, and I was like, I think he's actually doing pretty good. He wasn't being scared of the cars or anything like that. Well, he went to go get Ethan, and I think he flipped him, and then it was one of those times where you flip him, but then he goes right back on his lid after you flip him. Like he got flipped on his lid again. And then like 3 more cars came, and the kid backed up away from the car, and then these 3 cars passed him, and then he got marshaled again. So it was one of those deals. So he got kind of hosed, but he did pass, I believe, Ashton and Mitchell to at least get back to 7th from 5th. So he only lost 2 spots instead of 3, I guess. Ashton Abdul came out to race 2-wheel mod. I had no idea that he had a 2-wheel. Did you?
No, I didn't. Where did he get it?
It got me, but it's an Associated.
Yeah.
And he was driving really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad to see him back running electric. I know he's a nitro head. I know he would much rather prefer to race at 8 scale. But it was nice to see him come out and spend a whole day racing. And dude, he was rocking it, man. He was doing good. Mitchell Pavel finished 8th, and Wade Gehring qualified 5th and finished 10th.
Yeah.
But Wade decided to run mod Buggy today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Saturday. I keep saying today, but it's Saturday. So that was great. And again, we had a really strong mod class. I'm so happy that we have a mod class every week.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
I remember it was just me, you, and Derek.
A lot of places don't.
Yeah.
You know?
No, like there's a lot of places in the country you never hear about.
No.
Like, nobody club races mod.
Dude,
class.
OCRC doesn't usually have a mod class.
Yeah.
I mean, look at their Friday night race results. I never see two-wheel drive mod on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel blessed that we have usually at least one big heat or two heats most of the time on a club race where we can actually race mod and race mod, like not just have 2 or 3 of us and, you know.
Yeah, no, it's like a real class.
It's like a real thing. So we're very fortunate. And then finally we had an independent stock buggy. And this one was crazy. So like I said, we shouldn't have been short on marshals, but Owen wanted to announce. And I'm like, all right, dude, you announce good, you can have it. So I gave him the mic. I went out and corner marshaled this one. So I saw this one from the floor. Easton McCormick won it by I'm looking at the thing, 9,000ths of a second over Jackson Anderson.
Really?
Yeah. And Jackson Anderson had his hands full with Caden Peterson, one of Ken's kids, the whole race. Then it was Brian Barton, Jerry Doherty in 5th, Jace Peterson 6th, TJ Williams 7th, Nick Sneath in 8th, Ronnie went 9th, Max Doherty was 10th, and then I squeezed in 11 cars. Rod borrowed a Serpent car from one of his buddies, and he was like, I'm not going to race the main. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it saved us having a B main in independent buggy. And but, dude, okay, so I was on the floor, and, again, a bunch of blue cars were battling, and then traffic was heavy in this one. There was a lot of cars getting lapped, and Jackson was trying to slice and dice through there. Him and Caden got tangled up after the option line through that bendy corner. And Easton, who hadn't been called all race because Owen was watching, he was announcing the race while watching the race. I don't think he looked at the computer once. So he never even knew that Easton was there at all. So on the second to last lap, I kind of figured what was happening, and so did everybody else in the crowd, kind of because Ashley was there going, yeah, come on, don't quit. And Easton passed them both, and that lap, Owen was like, he's like, Jackson and Caden running right together, and he looks at the computer and he goes, wait, what? Easton McCormick, I don't know how he did it, but he came from nowhere to have the lead. And so the last lap came down to Easton and Jackson tried to bomb that jump, and that's how they finished. It was just like that. So it was crazy. It was a good race. I mean, it was a good race. If I was in the booth, I would have called a lot more traffic to get out of the way. Yeah. Because there was no traffic call at all in this one. That's the one thing about me when I don't generally like handing off the mic unless I can totally trust that person's going to not only maybe announce a good race, but also at least try to call traffic. That's why I don't usually let Emerson do mains, because he doesn't like announcing. He used to, but now he's like, oh, fine. And he goes in there and then he doesn't announce anything. He just announces what's on the screen, right? Whereas if I do like if you're running my 13.5 race, you do a good job of saying what's going on, but also doing, saying, calling lap traffic and stuff.
Yeah, I try.
So that's why I always feel weird, like at our winter series last year when I was racing Truggy, or when Emerson was racing Truggy and I was pitting for him, to be a father-son thing. I wanted to make sure that somebody was there that I could trust to run the computer. Yeah. And, it was either Chris Catlett or you or Jay Fairchild, Yeah. They those three.
All good choices.
Yeah, those three I know they're going to do that. So I'm not saying Owen's not a good choice. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that he didn't call any traffic in this one.
That's okay.
But
he'll get it next time.
But he still made it exciting. He still made it awesome. So
yeah.
Okay, so that's race results. We had a great club race. We got 2 more left to go in August, and then our next summer series is right at the end. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's move on. I want to talk real quick before we get to questions. There's actually quite a few on here. I want to talk about our carpet schedule real quick.
Sure.
All right. So this year's Carpet Off-Road Syndicate is going to start October 10th. And it's going to be every available Saturday until January 2nd. So it's going to be, let me see if I can get this out. And I'll have I got to get a hold of Mike Garrison so we can do our flyer. But it's October 10th, 17th, 24th. Halloween lands on the 31st on a Saturday. So we're not going to do a syndicate race that day.
Oh, all right.
Because I want to be able to go trick or treat with Emerson. I don't have many of those left. He's 13, so
yeah.
I want him to get as many Reese's as possible. That's my goal. Then November 7th, November 21st, and November 28th. The 14th will be our first Techno Series race in November. So the 7th, 21st, and 28th. It's always a crapshoot as to whether or not we should race the weekend of Black Friday.
Yeah.
We're not going to do Family Friday Off-Road on the 27th, but we need to get these races in.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and do it on the 28th. Hopefully we have somebody working in the store besides me.
Yeah, I probably won't be there.
So
I have a very divided family.
Yeah.
So I got to go I get 10 Thanksgivings, 10 Christmases.
Yep.
It's really tough. So I don't know. I just assume I won't be there, but who knows? Yeah. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll get the race on a race.
And then December 12th. And then we're not going to we never race. We'd usually take 2 weeks off around Christmas because we're so incredibly busy that we just can't. We need as many people working in the store as possible. Yeah. So the 12th, it usually starts to ramp up around that week before or second week before Christmas. Last year, dude, we were busy nonstop after Black Friday. It was crazy. Yeah. But you still got to get these race dates in. And then our last one will be January 2nd. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do that or not, but no, it's not. No, it's not. It isn't. Yes, it is. January 2nd. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. So January 2nd. We're not going to race Family Friday Off-Road on New Year's Day, but we will race the Syndicate on the 2nd. That'll be our last one officially.
Okay, so you heard it here first. These are our dates.
And
anybody else in the tri-state area that copies these dates for a similar off-road carpet series is definitely copying us.
So, yeah.
That's all I'll say.
October 10th, 17th, 24th, 14th, 7th. Oh, God, I screwed it up. Okay, October 10th, 17th, 24th, November 7th, 21st, 28th, December 12th, and January 2nd. And then after that, the month of January is going to be a month of dirt.
Yeah.
So that'll be the official Carpet Off-Road Syndicate. There's going to be some dates available in February and March, and we're just going to do just single club races.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said that because it's only about it's not about every other track. So please edit that out so I don't have to deal with that. You can leave a little bit of it, but it's not the tri-state area. It's within an hour. Any other track within an hour of us, it's copying us if they use those dates. It's not about all of the other tracks.
Here's the thing: every town should have. If every town has an RC track, that's great. And there's only so many race dates available. So who cares?
Please edit
that's
that
my
out,
thing.
I don't want to deal with it.
My thing
I don't
is,
want to deal with it.
I don't care. Who cares? We do what we do, and we try to do it well. So it doesn't even bother me. Nothing bothers me.
Yeah. No, edit that out, Margie, please. Oh, for the love of God, edit that out.
It's gone.
Okay, so there's that. Carpet Off-Road Syndicate dates. I will try to post those online soon. and I will try to get all of our flyers done because I have the Techno thing figured out. Techno's sponsoring our series again. Not sure about Syndicate, how that's going to work. We can't announce the February race. Jerry Doherty's on here just yet. We're actually probably going to have it announced by the person who owns it on this podcast when it happens. So that'll be cool.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, at least that's what I was told. So,
that'd be nice.
Yeah. I will say the carpet crash in is going to be February 27th. So that's our annual carpet big race. So that'll be on February 27th. So
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Hang on a second. It's starting to get warm, so I got to get this out of the way. It wouldn't be a HobbyPlex podcast unless I open up a brand new Kickstart. So. Almost ran out of breath on that one. Got some stuff on YouTube. Why don't we get to some questions? And we got time as opposed to our other shows that we've been running long on. I think the first 10 minutes of the show can almost be cut out. So, woo! Trevor Paul, sadly, I have to miss round 4. I'd like to sneak in a club race before round 5 to butter up, but have to butter up the boss lady. Is there a schedule out for the carpet series? We just talked about that. Ooh, when will Team Associated make aluminum parts for a DR10? That is a good question, and one that I am not privy to.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea.
I wonder what aluminum parts they want.
Well, I could see. I think Exotech just came out with a steering rack because it has like
doesn't it use the B6 style steering rack?
B5 steering rack.
Oh, B5. Mm-hmm. Well, they had a B5.
Yeah, but it's been
rack?
discontinued.
Huh?
Or it was discontinued.
Oh, it's discontinued?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I tried to order them for some of the oval guys, some B5 steering racks, and they were gone. So I know Exotech just came out with some stuff that I saw when I was in one of the A-Main orders looking through stuff.
Didn't J Concepts have that? They had an aluminum steering rack for that car.
Yeah, they did.
Maybe they still have some.
Yeah, that'd be something. So yeah, other than that, we're not cool enough or high enough on any totem poles to answer that question.
Nah, I wouldn't want to make anything up neither. So
yeah. Wade Garing's on here. He says he's going to dig out his old Kyosho Big Brute.
Oh wow, that's a big brute.
A shock body for it. That's going to be hard. That old Kyosho stuff is I've owned a couple of those and put them on eBay and gotten some pretty good coin for them, but parts for them, eBay's your friend with that sort of thing. Jerry Doherty, another thing he said is he wanted to remind us that Traxxas did used to have an RTR sledgehammer.
Really?
Yeah, and that's kind of when I saw the name of that tire, Sledgehammer, I immediately thought, oh, they still own the rights to that name. That makes sense.
Yeah. Do you remember the Traxxas Monster Buggy?
Oh, yeah.
That had that chainsaw engine in it?
Yep. We had one way back in 2005. The HobbyPlex had one for sale.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Yep. One of my earliest racing memories was being at Scranton RC Raceway in the beginner class down south of Topeka, Kansas, and one of the vehicles that would always be there to race in the beginner class was a Traxxas Sledgehammer.
Huh, that's
it had 8 shocks.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the T-Max has 8 shocks.
Yeah. It had 8 shocks and had a chassis very similar to a Stampede. You could kind of think of it as a Stampede almost. It was the same size. So maybe I'll bring in the ad one day. So Joel, God, I'm going to kill this guy's last name again. Florkey. He wants to know, oh man, this is the question that is always asked. How do you get sponsored?
Oh, just race and don't worry about it. It'll happen if it happens.
Yeah, that tends to be my my go-to answer for that. It's not that I try to like, what's the word? Shift people away from wanting to be a sponsored driver, but a lot of times, just from my own personal experience, a lot of times that can take the fun out of it, but also the chase to get sponsored can also take the fun out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, race because you like doing it, you know. Don't race because you think you're going to get sponsored. That's the wrong way to do it.
Right.
I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it never does, it never does. But you still had a good time. You still, if you're doing it because you're trying to get sponsored, you're not going to have a good time.
Right. You're going to get frustrated if you do bad. It's gonna weigh on you big time.
I raced for 15, maybe longer than that. Maybe longer than 15 years with no sponsorship or nothing.
I almost quit in 2003, I think it was. Maybe it was 2000. No, it was earlier than that. I almost quit because I had gone to all these races, spent a lot of money going to these races. I went to the Cactus Classic in 2000. I didn't do that bad. I made the A main in stock truck. I made the B main in stock buggy. I made the C main in mod four-wheel drive buggy. Right? I thought that's pretty good.
Yeah.
At the time. In 2001, I went to Florida Winter Champs, and I made the B main in mod truck, the B main in stock truck, which don't ask me how that happened, and then I made the A main, qualified 7th in the A main of stock buggy, but I was on TQ paces and really going for that TQ. It's just one bad round moved me from like 2nd to like 7th. It was crazy how that happened.
Yeah.
But I did so well there that I remember Todd Hodge coming over and asking me for a setup sheet on what I was running on my car. And I was like, oh my God, Todd Hodge just came over and asked me for a setup sheet. And I'm like, this is it. This is it. And then a couple months later, I turned in my resume to Losi again and still got denied. And I'm like, what do I got to do? This is stupid. And so I sold everything I had but my radio, and my buddy told me to get an associated car, start over. And then that's what I did. And then from 2000, I think it was 2001 to 2004, I went in. I had a completely different mindset. I was I was racing RC cars to have fun at that point. I didn't really care. It wasn't a priority. Guess what happened? Got sponsored. 2004.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely thankful for all the deals that I have.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong, but I'd still be racing if I didn't have them. You know, I really enjoy doing this and helping people.
Yeah.
And I think that's you know, that could be why I have the deals that I have, and I'm thankful for them. You know, I just enjoy racing.
Yep. And the other thing is, we're not owed anything.
Yeah.
Like I see that a lot with people sometimes, is they feel like they're owed something because they race this brand's RC car or that brand's RC car, or you know, they use these motors, so they're owed something. I don't think you're owed anything. I think you got to keep that in mind. Like none of these places owe you anything. You're you know, go in with that mindset and just be a happy person, and then see what happens from there. So I don't know. Like if you came to the track, and on a day where I was working on the track, and you went out there and mowed down a jump or something with the tamper, then I owe you something.
You're right.
You know, like that's when I owe you something. I'm like, dude, you can, you know, you get a free race or two or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah. No, I consider myself very fortunate. So.
There's Nicholas. God, another last name I'm gonna really suck at. Petrazak, maybe. What do I think of the Outcast 8S? I will let you know when we get one. We should be getting one very soon, and when I do that, that'll also be an unboxing that'll have on the site. So I think we're getting I think we're getting them pretty soon. So I will definitely let you know. I think it's weird how our industry has gone all these different directions with classes and sizes and you know, 1/10 scale, 1/6 scale, 1/5 scale, 1/24 scale. It seems like all scales are cool now, you know?
Yeah.
For a while it was like everything was going small.
Right.
And then all of a sudden everything was going big. And now it's just like, nah, here comes everything.
Yeah. There's a lot of markets.
Yeah. You need Goosebump tread tires. From
Who
Nick.
does?
Nicholas says, Alex, you need Goosebump tread tires.
For what?
I don't know.
Oh.
We used to use Goosebumps back when it was outside.
Yeah. Goosebumps outside. Goosebumps and flip outs.
Flip outs.
Track grooved up. The loam was a little lower. You ran flip outs.
Yep.
Big loam, you ran Goosebumps.
Jerry wants to know how Will's coworker is doing after his accident.
He's doing about as well as he could be. He I believe he just had the tube removed from his lungs to help him breathe from the collapsed lung. And so I believe he's talking, but I won't be able to visit him right now, COVID and all, but I guess when I hear more, I can keep you guys updated, but it's going to be a long road of physical therapy and recovery. So, I just hope he can walk again. He's not wheelchair ridden because the spine injury and his pelvis being broken is pretty big. So,
dang it. Spine injuries. Ugh.
Yeah.
I worry about Emerson sometimes when he's when we're out doing our biking stuff, making a mistake and getting hurt really bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You can't let the worry stop you from doing it, I guess.
I still ride my scooter. Like, you just can't live life in fear. You gotta, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people that choose not to. I enjoy what I do, and I don't really, I'm not out on major streets and stuff very often, but, anything can happen. So.
Couple more. We actually didn't get any questions or anything on our Facebook page. I posted it at like 4:45, so probably my fault. I should have done it a little bit earlier. That's weird though sometimes, because sometimes I'll post stuff and it'll reach like a couple hundred people within a matter of half hour. And then sometimes I post stuff and I'll look at it 20 minutes later and it'll say like 2 people reached. So I'm not sure how that works exactly.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I hope we're not like what's that called when they throttle you down so you don't get as many hits or whatever?
Oh, throttle down.
Did we? We've never pumped up Donald Trump on the show, have we?
Definitely not.
So we should have at least. We shouldn't have to worry about that. So. I don't know. That's about it from the YouTube. There's another one. Are you running 5-weight in your B61 or B62? But I'm not sure what he means by that.
5-weight.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not running 5-weight. I'm running 32.5 chalk oil in the front and 30-weight in the rear.
You're running 30-weight in the back?
Yeah.
Huh.
1.7 pistons in the rear, flat, and then 1.6, 1.7 split up front. I have a setup sheet posted on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you PM me or something, I could send it to you. My car works really well. I really like it. I had Aiden Horn drive it, and he said it was maybe a little bit too locked in or too planted for his liking, but he thought it was pretty easy to drive. So
I tried moving the shocks out on the top of the tower on Saturday and didn't like it. I had to move it back to the middle hole.
You went out farther, like the farthest out hole?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about today before we leave. A couple more things. A couple more YouTube. And JF Kansas says it's called banned. Yes. I don't think we're banned. That would suck to be banned.
We're not. No, we're not banned yet.
We're not banned.
Let us know, or next week. We got another week.
Yeah. Tyler Mark says, love the podcast, guys. Keep the great work. Love listening while on the road for work. That's awesome.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you. Jared Doherty wants to know how he did with the Kickstart, and he sent me a video, And the problem was, I'm going to be perfectly honest here, Jerry, I didn't get a chance to see all of it because I was out in the boonies yesterday, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute, and I didn't have very good reception, so I didn't get a chance to actually watch it. So I'll go back into Messenger and watch it when I get a chance.
Yeah.
But Jerry brought 2 Kickstarts for me for Saturday, and I took one of them, and then I left the other one, and then he brought it home, and I was like, dude, you should totally try it. So I'll have to see what he did. Yeah. He probably tried to do the sound, the gurgling sound on the microphone.
Definitely, hopefully.
Finally, JF Kansas wants to know when HobbyPlex is going to be no prep drag racing, and the only problem is it would have to be off-site somewhere because our parking lots beat up. The street out front, which could be a good spot, is now totally beat up after last winter.
You know where we would be a really cool place to do it?
Where?
The Lincoln On-Road track.
Yeah. Is there enough room though? Because these guys need to slow down. They need a lot of space. From what I've seen.
I don't know. It'd be worth looking into.
Yeah, it's true. At least it's smooth enough.
It'd be smooth and it'd be no prep. I mean, it'd be a really good surface for it, but you'd have to talk to MRO and see what you could work out.
So we are.
But I think that would be a really cool location.
Yeah, I agree. We are sponsoring a real life drag racing Onawa's drag strip, and they're having a couple events coming up, and one of them is like a no prep thing where they're going to do on the concrete part of their place, and so we got hooked up with that to be a sponsor. It looks like our banner's going to be up for the rest of the year.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then they're going to give us some space to set up like a booth or something and show off stuff. So I probably will get a DR10 here at some point, and we'll have some sort of Hobbytown rig set up for that. So
I'll have to do that too then.
Yeah, you should come with me.
That would be cool.
But as far as like
we could have a remote podcast we could record.
Oh, we could. We totally could. Margie would do it. She don't care.
Or at least like maybe a video. I don't know.
Oh, definitely video. Trust me, there'll be a video. Okay. That's about all we got off of there. I did want to talk about real quick. Again, we're going kind of long here again. We've been doing that lately.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Okay, I went to a crawling event this weekend. I'm almost done with the video. The video is going to be up on tonight, I think. At some point, I'm going to get it all edited, strung together, and everything. I went to a crawling event off-site. It was in Murray, Nebraska. Actually, it wasn't even Murray, Nebraska. It was in this guy's property outside of Murray, Nebraska. So it's like 30 miles south of Omaha. There was actual real rock. It's crazy how just a little bit south of Omaha, and all of a sudden you're into real rock.
Yeah.
It's gnarly. But man, was it fun. And I did really well in Class 2. The maximum tire size is like 4.7 something. I got 4th out of like 37 trucks. Emerson got 6th. That's awesome. He wasn't 5th, and then a judge turned in their score at the last minute and knocked him out of 5th. So he would have had this little 3D printed hardware. And then the brand new Axial SCX-10-3 that I did the YouTube video on, the build video, which I'm pretty proud of, actually. For doing a first-time build video with there's no frills. I got no editing software. I just string it together with my phone. I thought I did a pretty good job on it. I won Class 3.
That's awesome.
So Class 3, there is no max tire size. I think you can use, but there is and there isn't. It says no max tire size, but it's got to be, like they can't go past like a line on the body. So you can't put huge monster truck tires on it that go, it's got to look still somewhat realistic in scale.
Yeah.
I just took the tires off my Enduro that I ran in Class 2, slapped them on to the Axial truck, and then went and did it. I thought I did terrible at first because I caught like 3 gates like right out of the get-go. But then the rest of the course, I kind of meandered through it. I used a winch a few times, and then they had a time limit at this one. So at the events that we do at the Plex, there's no time limit. Some of the other events that I participated in, also no time limit. But because they had so many people, they had to put a time limit on. So by the rules, what happens is is if you can't finish by the time limit, you don't score. You're done.
Oh.
Yeah. So there was like 11. So the time limit was 12 minutes, and it was 11 minutes. I said, "How much time have I got?" And they're like, 11. You're at 11:30 right now. I'm like, "Crap, I got 30 seconds." So I just took the last two gates. Basically, they just turned in a score, and it ended up being good enough for the win in that one. It was freaking cool.
Nice.
So I was
That's awesome.
I was happy, dude. I want to do more of those.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to try to go to Axial Fest this year, and it just didn't work out because it would have been a last minute thing. But I think next year there's an event in Ohio, K&K something. I wanted to go to that this year, but they canceled it due to COVID.
Yeah.
They had this King of Missouri race or thing that I wanted to go to. I scheduled a summer series on top of it, not knowing. So that sucks. So I can't go to that one. And then maybe next year I'll go to the Midwest Axial Fest. I don't know. So I really like crawling, though. Crawling's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My family was pissed at me, though, because I told them, I said, look, this is going to be an all-day thing, but we only run once. It's not like RC car racing where we run multiple times. I do one run, and then that's it. So Gretchen wasn't going to go, and then while we were going to get kickstarts for the cooler, she called me. She's like, I want to go. I'm like, really? Are you sure you want to go? So we turned around, picked her up, went to there, and then sure enough, they promised me no whining, but at about 3:30, the thing started at 11. At about 3:30, both of them started whining heavily. So it was time for us to go.
You're like, you guys promised.
You guys broke your promise, man. So, but it turned out to be fine. We got super sunburnt. I'm sunburnt. I literally have a redneck.
Yeah.
So
ding dang do.
Ding ding do. So there's that. We should go. We're getting long again. These go by fast, man.
Yeah.
These go by really fast. Especially when there's news like today. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, don't forget our main sponsor, Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. If you get hooked up for a home loan refinance and mention our show, you get $500 lending credit or 0.125 off of your rate. You get to choose which one. So if you're in the market for a house, definitely give them a call because they're local and they'll get you going. It's worked out. Maybe one day I'll move to the country and I'll be using Pivot Lending.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. So okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week to talk about race results, anything else that comes out, and any other thing that might happen, right?
Yeah, anything and everything that could possibly happen.
Okay, well, I'll see you later.
Yep. See you on the flip-flop.
Whee!
Yeah, I did it without having to be told to.
You were like today. You're like I'm doing it today without.
Yeah, without any coercion.
Yeah. So okay, well, I'm gonna sign us off of YouTube. Bye, everybody.
All right. See you, YouTube. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Yeah.